By RJ White at RJ White 11H ago 9 minutes read Week 5 is a brutal week for quarterback injuries as fantasy owners deal with their first non-weather buys of the season. With 4 teams getting the week off, the quarterback pickings in fantasy leagues were already slim, but up to 3 more regular starters at the position could be on the sidelines in Week 5. The Oakland Raiders already know they'll be without Derek Carr, and E.J. Manuel is in line to make just his second start since 2015. The Buffalo Bills inexplicably benched a healthy Tyrod Taylor for Manuel in Week 17 last year. The Tennessee Titans may or may not have Marcus Mariota under center, but they went out and signed Brandon Weeden during the week just in case. The Minnesota Vikings have been playing without Sam Bradford for week, but he has a chance to return to action Monday after showing back up in practice this week. Steelers receiver Martavis Bryant was added to the team's injury report on Saturday as questionable to play due to an illness. His absence could make the Steelers' test against the league's #1 pass defense that much tougher. Injuries must be accounted for when making fantasy and picks pool gambling decisions, and we've taken care of a lot of the legwork for you by collecting all the final injury reports in one place. Below you'll see the game status of every player on each team's injury report if they're ruled questionable or worse a few minutes after they're in. We'll also give quick thoughts on how those designations affect your decisions for Week 5. Before we get to the injuries, here are some Week 5 fantasy resources to give you even more help with setting your lineups, and if you're undecided about who you should back in picks pools or at the sportsbook, here are our Week 5 picks and to the injuries as they develop. Check back throughout Friday and check back Saturday for the Monday night game. Arizona Cardinals at Philadelphia Eagles. Cardinals OT DJ Humphries, DL Robert Ingham, D Shout WR John Brown, WR JJ Nelson, G Alex Boone questionable. Eagles DT Fletcher Cox, CB Ronald Darby Art RB Wendell Smallwood DT Destiny VAO, S Corey Graham, S Jalen Watkins questionable. Analysis: Smallwood seems unlikely to play after missing practice this week, and that reduces the Eagles' rushing attack to LeGarrette Blount and Corey Clement. The Eagles' defense continues to deal with key injuries, and its top D lineman and top cornerback remain out. The Cardinals have multiple receivers ailing, but the passing game has gone through Larry Fitzgerald and Jaron Brown anyway, so missing one or even both would presumably not be as damaging a loss otherwise. Bills at Cincinnati Bengals. Bills WR Jordan Matthews, pound Ramon Humber out OT Cordy Glenn, CB EJ Gaines, CB Sharice Wright, S Micah Hyde questionable. Bengals WR John Ross, T Tyler Eifert, T Ryan Hewitt, S Darren Smith out, pound Jordan Evans questionable. Analysis: the Bills are down one of their starting receivers, putting even more strain on a mediocre passing game. They're also facing a cluster of injuries in the secondary and will definitely be down one of their top tacklers. Rookie Dion Dawkins has played well in place of Glenn in recent weeks. Ross and Eifert remain sidelined for the Bengals, lowering the ceiling of the passing attack as it tries to solve one of the best defenses in the league thus far. Carolina Panthers at Lions. Panthers C Ryan Khalil, S Kurt Coleman, S Demetrius Cox out OT Matt Khalil, Demario Addison, DeJulius Peppers questionable. Lions RB Dwayne Washington, WR Kenny Golladay, pound Paul Warrilow out OT Rick Wagner, GTJ Lang, C Travis Swanson, DT Halo T Nata, pound Jared Davis, pound Tahir Whitehead, S Don Kerry questionable. Analysis: the Panthers' key interior offensive lineman remains sidelined, and his brother at left tackle is in doubt as well. If both are down, the Panthers could have issue with the Lions' defensive front. The Panthers could also be facing issues deep in the secondary with 2 safeties out. Coach Ron Rivera is optimistic all 3 questionables will play. The Lions are ravaged by injuries, particularly on the offensive line and at linebacker. The Panthers could have a field day up front if Matthew Stafford isn't getting great protection. Jacksonville Jaguars at Pittsburgh Steelers. Jaguars WR Jalen Strong, C Brandon Linder, pound Lear and T McRae out, WR Marquise Lee, S Jared Wilson questionable. Steelers OT Marcus Gilbert doubtful, WR Martavis Bryant questionable. Analysis: the Jaguars could be short-handed at receiver if Lee can go, and maybe that brings Marcedes Lewis more into the picture after HES flash this year. This matchup is less about who's hurt and more who's healthy, as Jalen Ramsey and Malik Jackson were upgraded to full practice on Friday and both are good to go. Strong and Linder were downgraded to out on Saturday, however. Several members of the Pittsburgh defense were limited or out for Wednesday's practice, but all returned Thursday. However, Bryant was a late addition to the injury report Saturday with an illness. Los Angeles Chargers at New York Giants. Chargers RB Brandon Oliver, WR Mike Williams out, WR Terrell Williams, T Sean McGrath, OT Joe Barksdale, pound Jatavis Brown questionable. Giants RB Paul Perkins, C Weston Richburg out, G John Jerry, D Jason Pierre-Paul, D Olivier Vernon, D Avery Moss questionable. Analysis with Perkins sidelined. The Giants backfield gains a little clarity. Rookie Wayne Gallman Jr. impressed last week after Perkins suffered his injury, and he'll have a chance to gain a foothold on the RB1 job in this game. The Giants' pass rush would take a major hit if both Pierre-Paul and Vernon are out. The Chargers could be short-handed at the skill positions if Oliver can't spell Melvin Gordon and both Williams receivers have to sit. If the Chargers offense isn't clicking, this could be a low-scoring game on both sides. New York Jets at Cleveland Browns. Jets RB Matt Forte, DeConey Ely, pound Josh Martin, CB Darrell Roberts out, to Muhammad Wilkerson, CB Justin Burris questionable. Browns WR Kenny Britt, pound Jamie Collins out. Full analysis with Forte still sidelined. Bilal Powell and Elijah McGuire will continue to handle the running back touches in the Jets backfield. Those two combined for 321 total yards of offense in last week's win over the Jaguars. Britt has caused concerns about his effort this year, but the big story for the Browns is number 1 overall pick Myles Garrett making his debut. San Francisco 49ers at Indianapolis Colts. 49ers pound Reuben Foster, pound Dakota Watson, S. Eric Reed, S. Adrian Colbert out, WR Marquise Goodwin questionable. Colts QB Andrew Luck, T. Jack Doyle, CB Nate Hairston out, RB Matt Jones doubtful. WR Chester Rogers, CB Rashaan Melvin questionable. Analysis Luck remains sidelined, and now the team's top tight end joins him. That absence should have a big impact, as the 49ers have done a good job erasing tight ends this year. The 49ers defense is also down several players, including Foster and Reed, giving the Colts a healthier defense than the opposition for likely the first time this season. Titans at Dolphins. Titans WR Corey Davis, S. Jonathan Cyprien out, QB Marcus Mariota questionable. Dolphins to Terrence Fader, DT Jordan Phillips, pound Mike Hull, CB Byron Maxwell, CB Xavier Howard questionable. Analysis the biggest potential absence of Week 5 for any team could be Mariota, as Matt Castle looked awful filling in for the Titans starter after his injury last week. Mariota is dealing with a hamstring injury, and that should limit his mobility on scrambles and designed runs even if he's able to play. JJ is off the injury report after getting 2 full practices in this week. The Dolphins' defensive injuries are a bit mitigated if Castle is under center for the Titans. Baltimore Ravens at Raiders. Ravens T. Max Williams, DT Brandon Williams out, CB Jalen Hill doubtful. WR Jeremy Maclin, T. Benjamin Watson, pound Anthony Levine, CB Jimmy Smith, DB Lardarius Webb questionable. Raiders QB Derek Carr, RB DeAndre Washington, G. Gabe Jackson, CB Garyon Conley, CB David Amerson questionable. Analysis the Ravens are missing elite interior defender Brandon Williams another week, improving the outlook of the Raiders' rushing attack. They could also be missing multiple passing attack weapons with both Maclin and Watson questionable, but both are expected to play on Sunday. All indications are that EJ Manuel will start this game after Carr suffered a back injury last week, but he was able to practice and surprisingly earns a questionable tag from the team. Seattle Seahawks at Los Angeles Rams. Seahawks RB CJ Prozis, DeCliff Averill, DeQuinton Jefferson, CB Jeremy Lane out, pound Michael Will Hoyt questionable. Rams S. Lamarcus Joyner doubtful. D. Hammond Brown questionable. Analysis the Seahawks are banged up at running back, with Chris Carson on IR and Prozis downgraded to out on Saturday. That leaves Eddie Lacy, Thomas Rawls and pass catcher J.D. McKissick at the position in this critical game. They'll also be down a key pass rusher, with Averill dealing with a serious injury. On the flip side, the Rams head into the game basically healthy. Green Bay Packers at Dallas Cowboys. Packers pound Joe Thomas out, RB Ty Montgomery doubtful. WR Davante Adams, OT David Bakhtiari, OT Brian Bulaga, DT Mike Daniels, pound Ahmad Brooks, CB Davon House, CB QB Quentin Rollins questionable. Cowboys OT Tyron Smith, OT Lael Collins, DT Stephen Paea, pound Sean Lee, CB Anthony Brown, CB Nolan Carroll questionable. Analysis with Montgomery looking like he won't play. The Packers rushing attack will come down to rookies Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones. Adams being questionable for this game is amazing after the violent hit he took last Thursday night. Mike Daniel says he'll play here, which improves the rush defense against Ezekiel Elliott. Bulaga and Bakhtiari were limited all week and could return here. The Cowboys look like they could be undermanned on defense again, which is bad news against Aaron Rodgers. Kansas City Chiefs at Houston Texans. Chiefs G. Laurent Duvernay Tardif, C. Mitch Morse, Pound D. Ford out. Texans G. Kyle Fuller, ILB Ben Heaney, CB Kevin Johnson out. C. Greg Manch. Questionable analysis. The Chiefs are without two key interior linemen in this matchup, and that should be music to the ears of J.J. Watt, who has yet to fully get things going this year. The Texans are also down some interior line depth, but their injuries should be less impactful than those the Chiefs. Vikings at Chicago Bears. Vikings OT Rashad Hill out. QB Sam Bradford, SJ Ron Curse questionable. Bears OLB Willie Young, ILB Nick Kwiatkowski doubtful. C. Ronis Grasu, Rakiem Hicks questionable analysis. Bradford is questionable to make his return on Monday night after missing the team's last 3 games, a stretch that has seen the Vikings go 12 with Case Keenum under center. The Bears are down a couple inside linebackers with Gerald Freeman on IR and Kwiatkowski unlikely to play, and the pass rush could be less than 100% as well.